was looking at all your work on arrays, and you were doing an excellent job. Every single one of you were able to make an array from a number story and write an equation to show that array's total. Now, I also looked through some of your exit slips, and I looked to see if you have questions. And some of you said, why are we learning arrays? And that's a really, really, really good question. So I want to answer that. The reason we're learning arrays is because next year when you are third graders, you're almost third graders, right?
Yeah.
This is going to really help you be ready for multiplication. Some of you are already understanding that idea right now, and that's awesome, and that's great. But right now we're working on writing these addition equations for our arrays, because multiplication is about groups of the same number. So it's about groups of 3 or groups of 4. So that's why we make our arrays in straight lines.
How much more?
Okay, so next year when you become multiplication experts, you'll be ready because we've done these arrays. Okay? So, today I want to make sure that when we do our work that we're writing 2 equations for our arrays. Now we talked about that a little bit yesterday, and I think it was a little bit confusing when I said if you've already written an equation to write a second one, or if you weren't done to finish. It was a little bit confusing. So I made a new worksheet for us today to practice writing one equation and a second equation, looking at our rows and looking at our columns. Okay? So for this one, we need you to write 2 equations to show the array's total. So the first one, A, what's the first equation we're going to write for this array? I'm looking for quiet hands. Oh, where did my dot? Our dot. So right now we're going to raise our hands. So our first equation we're writing. So all of you did some work of this during your math message. Jaden. Okay, and is that for this one? So I can put it 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Jaden, where are you getting your 3s from? Oh, it's Jaden's turn. From the rows? You were looking at the rows? So I could look at my rows, right? I've got groups of 3.
How much?
And what's the total, Jaden?
12 on Friday.
12. Alright, now we need to write a second equation, a different one. Looking at our, what? Looking at our,
5, 10, 15.
Let it go.
alright, Fabiola, help us out.
5, 10, 15.
4 plus 4 plus 4. I love how people have their eyes on Fabiola or on the screen. And where do the 4s come from, Fabiola?
Saturday.
What is the 4?
Oh, the 4s come from the column.
From the columns. So if I wanted to, right, I could do it in a different color. So you guys can see the columns, right? 4 dots, 4 dots. Sorry, no, I'm kind of blocking it. And 4 dots. We have one group of 4, another group of 4, another group of 4 in our columns, which equals what, Fabiola?
12.
12, the same, right? You're showing the same array with 2 equations. One looking at your rows,
How much more did
Great.
Doreen earn on Saturday?
one looking at your columns. Okay? Does anyone have any questions right now about this? When I say write 2 equations to show your array's total. Okay, show me with your hands. How are you feeling about today's goal? I will make arrays and show the array's total with 2 different equations. Show me with your hands. Yes, I feel awesome about this. I'm still working.
And what do 3 of those?
Or you're not quite sure.
5.
Show me with your hands, be honest. Because we're all have different learning.
How much did she
Trajectories.
earn on Sunday?
So I'm looking for everyone's hands to show me where they're at. Okay. Writing 2 equations. Alright, so I want to show you the first, alright, hands down, thank you. The worksheet you're going to do. And then I want to talk to you about the 2 things you can choose with your math partner. Today's kind of a math workshop day, so you can kind of choose what you want to do based on your own learning. You do have to agree with your math partner what you want to do. So first I'm going to show you the worksheet you're going to do with arrays, and then I'm going to explain to you the 2 activities that you can choose from for this one. Okay?
How much more did she earn on Saturday?
I need to erase this so that I can show the worksheet on the screen.
I was trying to catch you.
Keeping our eyes on the screen.
I was looking at
Does Jess or Sarah have more stuff?
I was looking at boring with the tie. Why is it different for the target?
Jess has more than Sarah?
Yeah, and some of you are looking at our schedule for math. That's okay.
Oh.
Alright, so but right now our eyes should be on the screen so that we know how to do this work first.
Who did math?
I don't know
So
why.
let's see who's showing me. Carly, thank you.
That's pressure.
Did you do that one right?
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Jaden. Alright, so this is just what you did, Zoilo, during your math message.
Oh, okay.
Now, this is written a little bit differently though than what we've been seeing. So it says write 2 different equations to show the total sum of the array. What does this word mean?
So,
Sum, what does that mean?
the answer.
The sum, it means the answer. Is it talking about subtraction?
No, addition.
Addition, right? I think you guys have learned that word even in 1st grade, right?
Yeah.
Sum means adding. So the total sum of the array, so the total of the array when you're adding. Alright, so you have this first one. And you're going to write one equation here, another equation in here. What are you going to look at to write these 2 equations? What are we going to look at to write these 2 different equations? What do I have in front of me?
See ya.
Trey.
Put this in your mailbox. Okay, ready?
So we have one equation we're looking at. You're going to look at your rows and write an equation.
More.
And then,
Saturday.
don't focus on the answer right now. My question is,
Did you earn on Saturday?
when you write an equation for A and you write an equation for B,
Answer.
what should you be looking
5,
at
10,
to do that?
15, 20, 25, 30,
So Trey said rows.
45, 50.
What else? Kayla.
Both of those together. 50.
So one equation we look at our rows, the other equation we look at our columns.